So the way most people try to learn tarot is flat out wrong. It doesn't work. You've probably tried it and you know it doesn't work. But let's explore that a little bit. So most people try to memorize a bunch of tarot card definitions. There are 78 cards in a tarot card deck. So given that number, sure, it's possible you can memorize 78 things, 78 simple definitions. That's not counting all the nuances, but just simple definitions. But then we get into combinations, and people use that same approach to decide what a combination of cards, like, or what does the Chariot and the Moon together mean? Well, if you have 78 tarot cards and you combine them, finite number of ways that you can combine them, not counting the order, that's 3003. That's 3003 combinations you would then have to try to memorize. And then to go out further than that, you would have to memorize that many more. Obviously, that can't be done. Now you might say, okay, so a computer can do it. But we all know that when you try to get a computer generated tarot card reading, that doesn't work either. So then what do you need to do? Well, some people think, okay, there's the ancient mystery of the tarot. And I'm not saying that there is not an ancient mystery around the tarot and that there is not esoteric around the tarot. I'm not saying that at all because there most definitely is. But people go, oh, well, it's correlated to the Kabbalah. So they start studying the Kabbalah. Well, you could study the Kabbalah for 5 years and still not be able to read tarot cards. So what I'm saying is the approach that most people take is wrong. Tarot is a divinatory tool, which means you use your intuition or your psychic ability to connect with the universe at large, or the greater powers that be, or the gods, or whatever you believe it is, to be able to divine omens and answers to your questions. So the best way for you to use tarot as a tool to do that is to create a baseline knowledge of the cards by using your own intuition. So what I suggest people do is take some time and go through the deck and explore how those cards hit you. Because another way of thinking of it is, if I take this deck of tarot cards here and I give it to somebody from Western Africa, they're going to get a very different impression of these images than you or I get. I grew up in the United States in a Western culture, and these are really, a lot of these symbols come from Western alchemy. So, but if you don't know what alchemy is, that doesn't mean anything to you either. So, but intuitively, you can look at a card and you can get an impression of it, and you can be like, oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like two people coming together. I think that might be a good thing. Or you might look at that one and you go, oh, wow, look at that guy. He looks like he's kind of on a mission there. When you work with the cards and you start building associations and connections, it's just like learning a new language. You have to get used to it. You have to get a feel for it. And there will be possibly some memorization, but the best thing to do is to be able to connect to it on a very gut level. So in the following videos, I will give you several exercises you can do to make intuitive connections to the cards. And within just a few months, you can be reading tarot like a pro, instead of messing around trying to figure out the Kabbalistic meanings and the connections and the alchemy and all that, which, like, once again, I'm not invalidating that at all. But what you should do first is, like I said, make the intuitive connections with the cards and then move out into these other spheres. And that way you've got a good base, and then you can explore all you want. So I will see you on the next video.